All right, lads. Very good night to you all. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. But things happen. All right, so we are here looking at Social Studies Paper 1, 2025. Yes, 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 yes. So I think we're going to begin. Yes. And my guys, we have our physics and sciences marathon coming up. So if you guys are struggling with the sciences, want to join our classes, we are here to give you that one. All right. So number one, which of the following agents, which of the following are agents of the socialization process? And of course, guys, please to put the letter beside the number that you're typing in the comments. Biology will be starting this weekend. This weekend is biology. So we have one, C. Yes. Two, Maxine. This is their unmarried father, mother and father. Union is best described as. No, I don't think I'll have the time to do integrated science tonight. I'll see though. I'll try. I'll see what happens. All right, so two, of course, common law, right? Unmarried. Then we said three, which of the following would most likely determine the authority, would not likely undermine the authority of parents in the home. And the answer there would be waiting on you guys' comments. Inconsistent in rewarding and punishing children. Indeed. Question 4. In the Caribbean, fathers have accepted more responsibility for child rearing, mainly because, and of course, that would be D, increased number in working mothers. All right. Question 5. The type of care associated with elderly, of course, this care would be geriatric. Yes. Question 6. Unemployment and hard economic condition have forced both parents in some Caribbean families to migrate, leaving elder son or daughter to care for younger brothers and sisters. Which of the following problems is least likely to affect the younger brothers and sisters? And of course, low achievement would be a possibility. Breakdown in the siblings would be a possibility. Lack of, yes, it would be D for 6. 7, which of the following would most likely result from women working outside the home? So, women working outside the home would not decline in social values. So, it would be 2 and 3. And the answer there for 7 would be C. All right. Question 8, which of the following types of household in the Caribbean is most closely associated with ancestors who came from India, and that would be India is normally extended family. All right. Then we said nine. Paul is the captain of his school's chess club. Meetings, he allows members to make whatever decision they want. What type of leadership style is that? So, of course, Paul allows his team to do anything that they want. So that would be laissez faire. That would be laissez faire for nine. All right. Now we see 10. Members of an informal group are more easily identified than those in a, of an so members of a formal group are more easily identified than those of an informal group. And 10 will because they are most likely to be in uniform. All right, so you can clearly see the difference there. 11, which of the following qualities are characteristics of a strong leader? And of course, a strong leader is able to make decision and does not tolerate disorder. So a strong leader would be 1 and 3. That would be B. 12. Which of the following best characterize a primary group? And a current primary group, based on the answer here, would be more face-to-face interaction. All right? 13. Which of the following matters is not normally dealt with by family court in the Caribbean? So family court deals with divorce, they deal with child custody, they deal with alimony payments. So that means the answer here would be C, would not, they don't deal with probate of wills. All right. 14. One main duty of a Speaker of the House. And the Speaker of the House, one main duty, based on the answers there, is to regulate debates. All right. So that's what the Speaker of the House do there. 15. Which of the following is not a role of the trade union? It is not a role of the trade union. A trade union um, would not report workers to management. All right. So good going so far, guys. Seeing you guys going nice there. 16. In all CARICOM countries, citizens have the right to vote because it is by law. Right? And we look at by law, it's enshrined in the Constitution. So that would be C. 17 and 18 after this gathering. So boys play football in a community park, students in uniform at a science fair, people shopping in the marketplace, party members at a political party. And then 17 says, into which of the following types of group would IV be classified? So IV are party members at a political party, right? And if you are at a political party, you will not be with your peers. It would not be a primary or a secondary group because a political meeting, you choose to go there, right? It is your choice. So 17 would be voluntary because it's a choice. So it would be a voluntary group. 18, which of the following gatherings would most likely to be classified as a peer group? So remember a peer group, right? A peer group would be a group that has similar age, right? So for 18, we'll be looking at which one of these scenario would have similar age. So we say more than likely boys playing in a football community park would be normally boys of similar age. Students would definitely be a similar age. People shopping, like random people can shop. People at a party, political party can be young and old. So the answer there, the best answer there would be A for 18. 17 cannot be a secondary group because a secondary group is a formal group, Mario. Secondary group is a formal group. Secondary group has rules and it has um rules and laws, as uniform. It has it's not a formal group. A secondary group is not by choice, right? People, you choose who you want in a formal group, right? So you can't be saying you don't choose who go at a political. It's party members at a political meeting, right? You choose that. You choose to be there at a political meeting. It's not necessary that you have to go there, right? So it's C for me, right? That's C for me. I understand you look at it on it like you're saying that political members would be, I understand where you're coming from with 17 still. I do when you say people saying it's D. But for 17, I understand where they're saying D because they're thinking about it as they're saying like, all right, then it's from a political standpoint where you're thinking about JLP and PMP. But if they're keeping a political meeting, it would be a formal meeting, right? But based on the answer there, for me, it's a choice, right? You don't necessarily have to be at the meeting. So let me check the comments and see what the comments is saying. So most people saying D, that's what they put there. Um, for the people who put D, type in the chat why you have D there. I'll let you see if we can reason it out. This is a platform where we reason out our answers. It's not a autocratic platform. All right. So we can reason our answers here. I'm 30 seconds delay. So I'll probably answer 30 seconds late. But please you can type your reasons why, and I will see where you're coming from. What kind of rules would you say political? No, a voluntary group, you say political meeting is a secondary because participation is more about achieving objectives. Um, whereas voluntary group is based on personal choice. Uh, I mean, for me, A political party membership is a choice. You decide, you decide to be which party you want to be. No, I mean, if I check at it, political party is a choice. It is a choice. You voluntarily join political parties, right? You voluntarily join a political party. A political party is not something that you would do a job interview for or being selected for, right? When you're talking about a secondary group is something that you are selected for. Like a school is a secondary group because you hire teachers. Teachers don't choose whether or not they can come to your institution, right? Or if you have a bank as a job or a bank institution, people don't choose whether or not they can come and work at your institution. Political parties don't do interviews to say, all right, then you are the best candidate to join my party, or you are the best candidate to join my party. They don't do that. It's a choice. So if you believe that PNP has said the right thing, I'm just using PNP because I'm in Jamaica. If you believe that PNP is doing the right thing, you will join PNP's party, right? And if you believe JLP is doing the right thing, you're going to join JLP party because they suit your ideology, right? So that is why for me, it would not be a secondary group because a secondary group has strict rules that you have to follow along with other things, like how you join the group. Yes, I know it's a political meeting, but when I hear me, I say a political meeting, the members don't join, the members don't join freely. The members, when I say members don't join freely, the members do not join um based on selection. They join volunteer, right? So for me, it has to be volunteer because of how they join, right? So yes, for me, that is C, voluntary. All right, 18. We say 18 would be A. All right. And even if we want to analyze it down, right, in the interest of time, we can say that members of a voluntary group, like a political group, members join a shared interest. Shared interest goals belief, right? Political parties, you join sports club, you join community group service based on ideology and belief, right? So individuals at a political meeting would choose to join a political party, right? It's their choice. They share a common goal and political interest, and they participate on free will. So that is why that would be voluntary, right? Yes. So let's go. 19. Which of the following strategies, right? Which of the following strategy is a political party likely to use to reach a large number of persons in the shortest possible time? And that is like there. Gail says the answer is secondary though, because a large gathering. So every large gathering is a secondary meeting. So if you have a big dance, right? with a lot of people. There are big carnival parties. That's secondary because of a large gathering. Come on, lads. Have to reason better than that. All right. Next one. The plan proposed by a political party for managing a country is published in a document called, and we know that is a manifesto, right? Um, the Constitution of Commonwealth Caribbean country guarantees citizens freedom of conscience, expression, assembly, and movement, and these freedoms are usually referred to as human rights for 21. All right, 22 refers to the following list of ancestors. So we say, what's the order where the ancestors come in to the Caribbean? So the first one we have is the Amerindians. That's number one. And then the Amerindians, oh, so the Amerindians come in, and then Europeans with the England and Spain. And then they got the Africans as slave. And then the East Indian came here in indentureship. So it would be 1, 3. What is this? So it would be 1, 2. I'm a loss. So Gale says, unlike primary groups, which are characterized by personal members of a political party, often interact as formal, interpersonal. Okay. So based on the answer, we're going with voluntary, but all right. Next one, we said this is 22. Me even lose my chain of thought on 22. I'm lower up on 22. So 1, 3, 22 will be A. All right, 23, democratic control and open membership are features of, and 23 will be a corporate society. Nice and easy. 24 says the Caribbean countries where King of England is the head of state, may be described as the constitutional monarchy. All right. Okay. 25, in a constitutional monarchy, political leader of the victorious party becomes the, and 25 is the prime minister. And guys, please do put the number beside your letters so I can follow. All right. Next one says, 26 says, which of the following sequence outline the order through which bill proceeds to become a law, right? And that it goes for a bill to become a law, it goes to the lower house, then it goes to the upper house, and the governor general president. So 26 will be A. 27, Caribbean governments have improved the rights of children born out of wedlock by C, passing laws to allow them to qualify for inheritance. 28, the right of citizens to vote in an election is called the universal adult suffrage. 28. Nice and easy. 29, which of the following are items of expenditure of a government? And these are what the government spend on. The government spend on pensions, right? 30, which of the following is not included in the written constitution of a monarchy? And that one would be A, method of taxation. All right, so we are at 30, halfway mark. How are you feeling, guys, so far? Apart from 17, where we have the little disagreement about voluntary and secondary. And again, you guys saying secondary. Remember, guys, a multiple choice is the best answer that given the scenario. And given the scenario, I mean, if volunteer was not there, I would have chosen a secondary group. But the fact that voluntary is there and a political party is voluntary, voluntarily join, I think that is a stronger answer than D. Hence my answer. All right. So let us go with 31. Which of the following is most likely reason for the decrease in the population from 25 to 49 and age group? And that answer is B. The most likely cause we're seeing 25 to 49 young people normally move out. Right? 32, the number of males too young to be included in the productive. So the number of males too young to be included in the productive sector is approximately. I'll check this there. Too young will be here. So it's 2, 2, 2, 5, 0. 32. All right, so 32 is B. And then 33. Yeah, I know what people put C for 33. Oh, now gonna beat me again. Now gonna beat me again. Would not go beat me again. That's how you go. They have to take your beating. So we know we are gonna say 33 as C. We know the people must say 33 as C. And then ready for beat me. But it's a second beating for the night. 33 is D. Why D? Why is it D? Because the difference between birth rate and death rate is referred to as natural increase. Natural increase is what this one is. Natural increase. Question did not ask for natural increase. The question asks for population increase. And when you're talking about population increase, you have to include migration in it. Yeah. So I know what people put C. I see even some other channels have C, but D is the answer, right? Because you have to include migration aspect. Can't leave out that one. All right, you have to include the migration aspect. And when you're talking about population increase, it is natural increase plus net migration. You get natural increase by finding the difference between the birth rate and the death rate. And you get net migration by finding the difference between immigration with an I and emigration with an E. And when you get those two answers, you plus them to get the overall population increase. 34, right? Which of the following is least likely to be affected by overpopulation in a country? Right? And least likely would be C. All right. 35. An example of intra-regional migration is the movement of people from an intra-regional would mean that is people um within the Caribbean moving. So that answer would be D for 35. All right. Okay, it's showing that to St. Lucia. Next one says, from the graph, from the data in the graph, it can be concluded that male birth rate has always been lower than a female. And that is like I was a female here over male. So that's out. It's a female birth rate increased steadily from 1960 to 1990. 1960 here to 1990, we see all sort of zigzag, so it can't be that. C says female birth rate reached the highest level around the mid 1970s. 1975, we see female at the highest. So 36 would be C. All right. Next one says refers to the table, the natural increase. And here we are, guys, with natural increase. We take away the birth rate from the death rate. All right. And that would be 18,000. Yeah. Just double check that. I think it should be 18,000. Yes. Yes. Should be 18,000 right there. Next one, 38 says the labor force can best be described as persons who are employed and unemployed, qualified, willing, and able to work. Nice and easy. The statistical data provided by a population census help the government too. And of course, it helps the government to plan ahead in this instance here. That would be D. Right, to help them to plan ahead, D. All right. 40, which of the following conditions are problems usually associated with rapid urban growth? And for rapid urban growth, that's 40, we normally see unemployment, shortage of houses, we normally see shortage of motor vehicles, a direct impact. So for 40, we're going to put A. 41 persons would be considered unemployed if they are between the age of 16 and 55 and actively looking for work. All right, 42, which of the following measures will assist Caribbean countries in developing self-sufficient economy? And self-sufficient economy, we say developing local agriculture sector, investing in da 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 da. So all three of them for 42. 43, which of the following actions may be taken by an employer against workers during an industrial dispute? We're going to say a lockout. Nice and easy. 44, it is true to say that marine life is a renewable source. Right? Yes. So wait, so we have 43 people saying a strike. An employer would strike. An employer wouldn't strike. It's an employee would strike. An employer, somebody would get a job. Employers don't normally strike. They normally lock out their workers. 45. The attractive social condition offered by some countries. So attractive social condition have influenced people from the Caribbean, right? So these conditions may best be described as pull factors, right? So pull factors. Good. 46, the introduction of machines in agriculture result in the unemployment of farm workers, and we'll say that that is technological. So what type of unemployment do you suffer from? And that would be D. Nice and easy. Right? 47 says, which of the following statement is true about the information presented? So petroleum earned 45%. Eh, kind of look close. Okay, petroleum and bauxite earn more than half of the revenue. Uh, no. Agriculture and fisheries earn more than petroleum. Nope, not seeing that there. Mining sector earns more than manufacturing sector, definitely. And this is way more clear cut than A. So I'm going to work with D for 2047. All right. Mining. Mining is bauxite. So they don't mention mining, but mining will be bauxite and petroleum. Because those are things you have to extract from the surface, from the earth's surface. 48, which of the following would most likely be a potential benefit of CARICOM, and that would be the movement of skilled people. So potential benefit of CARICOM, the movement of skilled people within the region. Right? So yes. Moving on. So remember, guys, we're saying which most likely to be potential benefit. So having CARICOM, right? Guys, if you keep on typing that in the chat, I probably will not do the integrated science. I don't really appreciate that. All right. So movement of skilled people within the region, right, would most likely to be the benefit of CARICOM. All right. So that would be B. Next one, 49. Which of the following function does the CARICOM Court of Justice perform to all its members? Right? So all of its members, right? And when we look at it, we would say it would be most likely to be B or D. Right? But the thing is, says all of its members. The thing is that it acts as a court of appeal, but not to all of its members. Right? Because countries like Jamaica is still under the Privy Council. So it doesn't really act to all of its members, right? So that would be D, because it does D to all of its members, but it doesn't do B to all of its members. So the appropriate answer there would be D. Right, 50. Renewable resources may provide energy in the Caribbean for years to come. One example of renewable energy, right, would be sunlight, as we know. Which of the following strategies would play an important part in the government's effort to increase the consumption of locally produced goods? And if you want to increase that, you would increase the price on imported food. All right? So that would be B. 52, which of the following is the most important aim of the trading arrangements within CARICOM? And the most important aim is to promote economic development within the region. So we call that A. 50, 53, the highest authority of the CARICOM community would be C, the Conference of Heads of Government. All right. Yes. 54, which of the following organization of CARICOM is responsible for overseeing the operation of the CSME for 54? And for 54, the CSME is overseen by the Council of Trade and Economic Development. So 54 is D. 55, talk about the response of the in the event of disaster, and 55 is also D. 56, if CARICOM countries impose restriction on CARICOM products, which are the following provision is being violated, and that's the freedom of trade, and that's the same as liberalization. That is A. 57, CARICOM countries need to pool their skilled human resources. And they would need to do that to reduce the need for foreign experts. For 57, B. 58, which of the following situation is the main reason for trade conflicts which sometimes rise among CARICOM countries? And 58, we're talking about competition for 58, and that is D. 59, economic integration as part of CARICOM's main objective aims primarily to, and that is to accelerate the development in CARICOM countries. That's also D. And finally, which of the following results is least likely from industrial development in the Caribbean? And that would be C, right there. All right, so that's the answers there, right, that I think are best suited for this paper, right? And just to say that multiple choice sometimes is not about what is, it is about what is most correct given the situation that you have. All right, so we're going to talk about voluntary again. We think we explained all of that already. All right, so you probably will catch the video right there. All right. So my explanation on voluntary versus secondary is because I say it again for people who just followed. Voluntary for a political party, you choose to go there, right? You choose to go there. That's why it's voluntary. Okay? It's a better option than secondary, in my opinion. Right there. All right, so see you guys on the next one. Thank you for joining in. Subscribe. If you never subscribe, join our classes. We have our science classes or marathon coming up for physics, chem, biology. So do. Link the number, WhatsApp in the descriptions. Next time, guys.